Imagine losing your life savings, not to a masked robber, but to a friendly stranger you met online, a person who spent months earning your trust, only to vanish after convincing you to invest in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This isn't a rare occurrence. It's part of a multi-billion-dollar global industry run by sophisticated, borderless criminal syndicates. They operate in the digital shadows, leaving a trail of financial and emotional ruin. But there's a new kind of detective fighting back. They don't wear a trench coat or carry a magnifying glass. Their tools are code, their crime scenes are hard drives, and their mission is to unmask these digital phantoms. This is the world of cyber forensics, and today we're diving deep into how these modern sleuths are tracing the global web of fraud. Forget the stereotype of a lone hacker in a dark basement. Today's global fraud networks are structured and run with the cold efficiency of a Fortune 500 company. They are hierarchical organizations. At the very top, you have the masterminds, the architects of the entire fraudulent scheme. They design the scams and manage the whole operation. Below them, you find specialized teams. There's a tech team responsible for creating incredibly convincing fake websites, investment portals, and social media profiles. Another team focuses exclusively on money laundering, shuffling stolen funds through a dizzying maze of international bank accounts and cryptocurrencies to make the money untraceable. Some of the most advanced networks even have dedicated customer service departments. Their job is to communicate with victims, answer their questions, and lull them into a false sense of security, all while draining their bank accounts. What makes these networks so difficult to dismantle is that they are deliberately transnational. The mastermind might be in Eastern Europe, the tech team in Southeast Asia, and the money mules scattered across North America. This geographic spread is a strategic move to exploit legal loopholes and make it incredibly difficult for law enforcement from a single country to build a case. The COVID-19 pandemic was like pouring gasoline on a fire. As our lives moved online, so did the criminals, finding a larger, more vulnerable audience than ever before. So how do these syndicates actually get your money? They are masters of social engineering, the art of psychological manipulation. Let's look at their playbook. First, you have the classics, phishing and smishing. These are those fraudulent emails and text messages that look like they're from your bank, the post office, or even a tax agency. They create a sense of urgency, telling you your account is locked or you have a package waiting, all to trick you into clicking a link and handing over your passwords or personal information. Then there are the deeply personal romance scams. Scammers create fake, highly attractive online profiles and spend weeks or even months building what feels like a genuine emotional connection. They learn your hopes, your dreams, your fears. Once that trust is established, a sudden crisis will emerge. A medical emergency, a business deal gone wrong, a problem with a visa. They need money, and they need it now. Because you trust them, you send it. By the time you realize it was all a lie, they and your money are long gone. A more recent and particularly vicious scam is called pig butchering. The name is brutal, and so is the method. It combines the emotional manipulation of a romance scam with the financial lure of investment fraud. The scammer, or butcher, fattens up their victim, the pig, over a long period. They build a deep, trusting relationship, often romantic. Then, they casually introduce a supposedly foolproof cryptocurrency investment platform. They'll guide you through making a small investment, and the fake platform will show incredible returns. You're ecstatic. You invest more. They encourage you to take out loans, to liquidate your retirement accounts. You're fattened up with confidence. Then comes the slaughter. Once you've invested everything you possibly can, the platform freezes, the scammer disappears, and you're left with nothing. It's a devastatingly effective strategy that preys on both the heart and the wallet. When a victim reports a crime like this, the cyber forensic investigators get to work. Their process is methodical, precise, and must hold up in a court of law. It generally unfolds in 5 stages. Stage 1 is identification. The first step is to identify every possible source of digital evidence. This isn't just the victim's laptop or smartphone. It could be the servers hosting the fake website, cloud storage accounts, or social media profiles. In a global case, this evidence can be scattered across dozens of devices and countries, making this initial phase a massive intelligence-gathering operation. Stage 2 is preservation and collection. Once evidence is identified, it must be preserved perfectly. Any change to the original data, even just opening a file, could contaminate it. So investigators create what's called a forensic image. This is a perfect bit-for-bit copy of the entire hard drive or device. Think of it like a digital clone. They work only on this copy, leaving the original data pristine and untouched, just as a detective would bag and tag physical evidence at a crime scene. Stage 3 is where the real detective work begins. Analysis. With the forensic image secured, investigators use specialized tools to comb through the data, looking for digital breadcrumbs. They can often recover files that the criminals tried to delete. When you delete a file, the data isn't immediately erased. The computer just marks the space as available. With the right software, that data can be brought back. They also analyze metadata. Every file you create has hidden data attached to it. Data about the data. It can show who created a document, when it was last edited, and sometimes even the location where a photo was taken. This can be a goldmine of information. Investigators trace IP addresses, the unique address of a computer on the internet. While criminals use tools like VPNs to hide their location, skilled analysts can sometimes peel back these layers to find the true source. But perhaps the most crucial skill today is blockchain forensics. Criminals love cryptocurrency because they believe it's anonymous. But every transaction on blockchains like Bitcoin is recorded on a public, unchangeable ledger. While the addresses are pseudonymous, they aren't truly anonymous. By analyzing the flow of transactions, investigators can link these digital wallets to real-world exchanges where criminals have to provide identification or trace the funds to other illicit activities, effectively de-anonymizing the criminals and following the money. Stages 4 and 5 are documentation and presentation. Every single step of the investigation is meticulously documented to create a clear, auditable trail. This forms the basis of a final report that explains the findings in a way that a non-technical judge or jury can understand. Finally, the investigator may have to stand in court as an expert witness, explaining the complex technical evidence and connecting the digital dots that lead from the crime to the criminal. Their testimony can be the key to a successful prosecution. To do all this, investigators rely on a high-tech arsenal. For creating those forensic images, they use tools like Magnet Acquire. For the deep analysis of computers and phones, they use comprehensive software suites like Magnet Axiom, Encase, or Forensic Toolkit, which can process terabytes of data and automatically flag suspicious items. For pulling data from smartphones, which are often central to these scams, they use specialized hardware and software from companies like Celebrite. And for tracing that crypto money trail, they use powerful blockchain intelligence platforms from firms like Chainalysis and TRM Labs, which use advanced analytics to map out illicit financial networks on the blockchain. The biggest hurdle in this fight is that cybercrime knows no borders. A scammer in one country can target a victim in another, using servers in a third. This creates a legal and jurisdictional nightmare. A key attempt to solve this is the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime, established back in 2004. It's a treaty that helps countries align their cybercrime laws and cooperate on cross-border investigations. It has been instrumental in many successful international takedowns. However, it's not a perfect solution. Some major countries, including Russia, Brazil, and India, have never signed it, creating potential safe havens for criminals to operate from. And even between member countries, requesting legal assistance can be a slow, bureaucratic process, a huge problem when digital evidence can be deleted in a fraction of a second. Looking to the future, the battlefield is evolving again thanks to artificial intelligence. Criminals are starting to use AI to supercharge their scams. Think of AI-powered phishing attacks that write perfectly tailored, personalized emails that are almost impossible to spot as fakes, or deepfake audio and video to impersonate a CEO or a loved one in distress. But the good guys are fighting fire with fire. Investigators are now using AI and machine learning as powerful allies. AI can automate the grunt work of sifting through mountains of data, freeing up human analysts to focus on complex problem solving. Machine learning algorithms can be trained to spot patterns and anomalies in network traffic or financial transactions that indicate fraud, detecting threats faster and more accurately than a human ever could. In the world of crypto tracing, AI is a game changer, helping to identify suspicious transaction patterns and de-anonymize criminal wallets with incredible speed. The war against global digital fraud is a relentless, high-stakes game of cat and mouse. As our world becomes more connected, the opportunities for those who wish to exploit that connection will only grow. The criminals will get smarter, their tools more sophisticated, and their scams more convincing. But for every new tactic they deploy, a team of dedicated cyber forensic investigators is working to counter it, developing new techniques and new tools to peel back the layers of digital deception. Tracing these global networks is incredibly complex, requiring a unique mix of technical skill, sharp investigative instincts, and crucially, international cooperation. The perpetrators may believe they are ghosts in the machine, anonymous and untouchable, but the work of these digital detectives proves otherwise. They shine a light into the darkest corners of the internet, tirelessly following the faintest of digital breadcrumbs. And with every fraud ring they dismantle, they send a clear message. In the digital world, no one is truly anonymous, and no crime is untraceable.